What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. I'm already shivering a little bit because today, it's going to be a fun episode for you. You're going to have a splendid all time, but for me, oh man, this is going to be moida. Absolute moida. Because I'm going to have to make a full watch collection pulling from only watchmakers I absolutely hate. That's right, not watchmakers I kind of don't like, not watchmakers that are on my bleep list. No, I'm talking about watchmakers that I complain about most. We're talking Ulysse Nardan, we're talking Hublot, Heuer, Richard Mille, and Invicta. And this was brought on by someone I thought loved me the most. I thought this person had my back through thick and thin. I thought this was my soulmate, Connie. That's right, she was watching my live stream last Saturday, and she saw that one of you smart Alex out there was like, "Hey Jory, you hate Richard Mille. If you could only buy one watch in the world and it was from Richard Mille, which would you choose?" And that was like a very difficult scenario, a little difficult hypothetical situation for me to be put in. And I get it, it's fun for you guys to watch me squirm, but little did I know Connie was taking notes. And when I saw her later after the live stream, she was like, "You know what, I want you to make an episode. And not choosing one watch, I want you to build a whole collection pulling from the watchmakers you hate most." And then at first I was like, whoa. But then I was like, you know what, I have this in the bag, until she brought up the two parameters that she had for the episode. She said, no funny pics, no ironic pics, no fooling around here. You gotta be serious. And I was like, okay, well this, I might still be able to do this. And then she hit me with the kicker, the gut punch, the kill shot. She said, no vintage choices. Because let's put it this way, okay, Invicta. I complain about Invicta all the time. They're like the bane of my existence. But the truth is, there's a lot of vintage Invictas that I would absolutely love to own. And I actually did own a vintage Sealand chronograph, which is technically an old Invicta. But yeah, those are just all out the window for this one, guys. We can't choose anything vintage. So it has to be fairly current, and it has to be serious choices. And I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be as honest as possible, okay, guys? So I'm going to tell you why I chose these watches, what I like about them, and why they're in my little hypothetical collection here. And then I'm going to tell you why I still take issue with some of these watches, because they are by no means perfect. So let's just do it. It is 4:45 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright guys, here it goes. I'm taking a crack at this. Every watch collection needs a dress watch, so this is why we're moving on to Ulysse Nardan. That's right, they're known for a lot of their kind of bigger sports watches, but they do have some dress watches, and we're moving on to the Hour Striker 43 Samurai. Now, here's the first problem with this watch. The 43 stands for 43 millimeters, which I think is actually a bit too big for a dress watch, but I'm gonna let it slide because this watch has a really, really cool complication, and it's known as the Samurai because it's paying tribute to two legendary samurai, Miyamoto Musashi and Sasaki Kojiro. I'm sorry if I butchered those names, but a really badass scene taking place on this dial, very dynamic. You can see a ton of detail went into this watch, and it's hyper limited to 18 pieces. Actually very, very expensive. We're gonna put up the most recent price here on screen. So yeah, I'm never gonna buy this watch, but really, really cool. And you can see one of the samurais in the midst of striking with his katana, and it just looks really cool. And it's an hour striker. So you might look at this watch and think it's a chronograph because it does have two pushers on either side of that crown. But actually what it does is you can change it from chiming every hour or every half hour, and you can use another pusher to actually silence the complication altogether if you don't want it to chime on those hours or half hour intervals. So very, very cool piece. Again, I've been watching a lot of Demon Slayer lately, so I think this is kind of like right up my alley, but I'm not trying to make a joke here. I think this is really cool, and although, I don't like the Mermaid series from Ulysse Nardan, I think that's like X-rated and kind of creepy. This is really cool. I think this is super duper cool and has a really interesting complication. A little bit too big, very expensive, very limited, hyper limited, but a lot of detail here and a lot of very interesting complication going on here. It's using the caliber UN 610 automatic movement, and yeah, so if I have to build a dress watch for this collection, this is what it's going to be. So while that Ulysse Nardan was not a chronograph, I think every decent, well-rounded collection should at some point have a chronograph, and unfortunately we're not talking about Seiko 6139s or Omega Speedmasters. No. We have to pull from a company called Hublot. And as we all know, you blow your money away when you buy a Hublot, but I'm gonna try to just push that out of my memory. Now, the bummer with Hublot is that pretty much they only release various iterations of the Big Bang. And I unfortunately really don't like that design, so I had to really dig deep with this one. And I recall something, I think it was called the East Coast Bronze Chronograph, and I have it here in front of me, and it is the Classic Fusion East Coast Bronze Chronograph. And this is, again, utilizing that Classic Fusion kind of industrial round bezel with the two rivets going in the lugs. And again, I take issue with the sizing of this watch. I think it's 45 millimeters, and although it looks like this bigger kind of nautical bronze chronograph, it only has a 50-meter water resistance rating. But I do appreciate the 6 o'clock date window, I appreciate the dark date wheel, and I really do like the texturing on that bronze case. So we're gonna try to get a close-up shot here for you, but you can see kind of looks weathered and textured and very fun. I also do like that textured kind of coffee dial or chocolate dial. This is not like that gross coffee poop watch from Tag Heuer. No. I think this is actually much better. And I'm an East Coaster originally. Well, I was born in Santa Monica, but I grew up for 20 years in New Hampshire. So I do like it paying homage to the East Coast of the United States. I don't really know what the East Coast has to do with this watch, but it's in the title of the watch, and generally speaking, if I have to choose something with the Classic Fusion Big Bang aesthetic, and it is a chronograph and I want a chronograph for the collection, I'm going to choose this very nicely textured chocolate dial East Coast bronze chronograph. Just make it a little smaller next time, Hublot. And also just change the way it looks altogether. Then I might get it. Now, speaking of chronographs, another chronograph. But guys, this is going to be probably, oh man, I just want to savor this moment, cherish it, because this is a watch I actually would really love to buy, and there's really no hang up about it because I think this is a great watch. And it's from a company I absolutely despise, Tag Heuer, with their Monaco. Now guys, why did I choose this? Well, because whereas that kind of East Coast chronograph, I still had some issues with it. For my collection, I also want a racing chronograph, like a specific racing chronograph with some decent lineage. And again, we can't choose something like a Speedmaster. We can't choose something like a Speed Timer. I can't even choose a freaking Bulova Lunar Pilot because, again, I have no issues with Bulova. It's a company I really like. So from a company I dislike, Tag Heuer with their Monaco, I mean, baby, this has amazing history. It's so rich in the racing community. It is just gorgeous in my opinion. I love that rectangular case. I love the blue dial, the really vibrant red handset. Everything is nice and symmetrical. Has a 6 o'clock date window. It's beautiful. Just throw this on a man cave leather rally strap and you can call it a day. And it's fairly versatile because I believe this thing has a 100-meter water resistance rating, so this is a chronograph that you really don't have to baby at all. So what's funny is with that Hublot, it was the East Coast bronze chronograph, 45 millimeters, kind of looked like a nautical porthole, only had 50-meter water resistance rating. This racing chronograph from Tag Heuer has a 100-meter water resistance rating. So I don't need to linger with this watch because we all love the Monaco. We all love the Monaco, excuse me. Man, I'm so excited about this watch, I'm like salivating. Now, there's one thing I do need to clarify, okay? People are gonna be like, well, you don't like Tag Heuer? Well, I mean, Heuer had a bunch of really cool Carrera chronographs and stuff. Yes, Heuer is a different company altogether in my opinion. I love Heuer. Vintage Heuer, incredible. Tag Heuer, when they added the tag in front of it, that's the watchmaker I take issue with. So if I have to choose a Tag Heuer, Monaco, bada bing, bada boom, this is a watch that's absolutely gonna find its way in my collection anyway. It's probably the only good watch Tag Heuer still makes, and it's very reasonably priced, especially when we're looking at all the watches in this collection. $5,400 MSRP. To put it in perspective, That Ulysse Nardan was like around $100,000, I believe, or over $100,000. And then this, again, we threw up the price at the beginning of the episode, but then that Hublot was like 20 grand. So this being under 6 grand, very nice. Now this pick is going to be out of left field a little bit because I know everyone wants to see T3 pick a Richard Mille. Yes. Especially because I complain about them a ton. I call them Ben 10 watches. I've called them fruit roll-ups on the wrist. I've called them trash. People want to see me eat my words and choose one. But again, I'm smarter than that. And I've said many times on this channel, I am not a pocket watch guy. I got a solid gold pocket watch for my bar mitzvah and I love it. But, you know, all in all, I don't know much about pocket watches. However, Richard Mille, although they make horrifically ugly watches on the wrist, they make a watch that shares the same aesthetic as their wristwatches, but in pocket watch form. And while I think this would be just horrific on the wrist, having it as a pocket watch, now that's a different story. That's very unique and kind of fun and dynamic and edgy and weird, and it would go amazing with my fedora. Jory, we have to be serious with this one. No milady jokes. I understand that people that wear pocket watches in 2021 are probably fedora wearing miladies, but just pull it together. I know you want to make a joke about pocket watches and being a Reddit moderator. You just can't do any of that. You have to be serious. You have to be very serious. I'm serious! This would be a cool watch to have. It would be a very cool pocket watch to have. It's just incredibly expensive and ridiculously, I don't want to say overpriced because there's clearly a lot going on here, but it is a hand-wind, manual wind tourbillon pocket watch. The chain looks really dumb. I don't even know, do people wear vests nowadays? Like, I mean, to wear a pocket watch, you would need to wear a vest, right? Like a proper 3-piece suit. I don't know. I don't even know how to go about wearing a pocket watch, but if I had to have one, and if I had to have a Richard Mille, this would be the one to choose. Because again, I think most of the watches they come out with are horribly ugly. But having this just tucked away in your pocket, pulling it out and taking a look at it, you know, that would be a fun thing it would be a conversation starter for sure. So the RM020 pocket watch, the manual wind tourbillon, that would be my choice. By the way, one of my cats is meowing outside the door, so you probably heard that. She's probably like, no, don't! No, don't choose a Richard Mille! I know I have to. I'm so sorry, Turtle. I'm so sorry. That's right, I named my cat Turtle. And last but not least, I teased at the beginning of the episode that I would choose an Invicta, and I will not disappoint. Guys, I'm not choosing one of these huge, what do they call them, venom bolts or something, and I'm not choosing even an Invicta Pro Diver, which is a watch I've reviewed on this channel. No, I'm reviewing well, I guess it technically is a Pro Diver, but it's a Pro Diver Zager model 31290. So it's not the Invicta Pro Diver that looks like a current Submariner. It's an Invicta Pro Diver that looks like a vintage one, and I think it's called Invicta Pro Diver 1953. And again, it's because it's harkening back to the original Submariner. So I really do like the kind of classic shaped case. There is no crown guards, no integrated crown guards. It does kind of give me, yeah, I guess OG Submariner vibes, but more so kind of like a Black Bay at this point. Same thing, right? Wrong.
Oh, my tutor. My tutor is essentially a Rolex.
And guys, I know you're gonna be like, oh, well, you hate Tudor, choose a watch. Okay, well, I've already said I would absolutely wear a Pelagos. I would absolutely wear a North Flag. So that's not, I mean, there are Tudors I would wear, so I didn't even think to add them on the list, but boom, I just did. But for my sports watch, for this hypothetical collection, I would choose this Invicta. It's modern, it looks vintage, it has a 200-meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown. It's absolutely inoffensive. I believe it uses an NH35. I could be wrong, but it does have a Japanese automatic movement. I think a bunch of my viewers actually own this watch, and this would be a current Invicta I'd recommend to you guys because the specs look absolutely fine. And again, it's not a just blatant Submariner ripoff, and it's just pretty much inoffensive. And that's kind of the biggest compliment I can give an Invicta at this point. So yeah, guys, I mean, I've built a collection officially with Ulysse Nardan, Hublot, Tag Heuer, Richard Mille, and Invicta. Now I need to go take a Valium. But guys, I want you to do the same, okay? You might not dislike the same companies I like, but whichever companies you dislike, leave that in the comment section below and let me know, what collection would you build utilizing only those just dreaded, ghastly watchmakers you hate? I'd love to hear from you guys. I think it's a fun little hypothetical all around. And if I had to do this, guess what? You gotta put yourself through it too. All right. Take one for the team, guys. Let's hear it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And you know what? It wasn't as painful. It wasn't as painful. Maybe I'll do another episode about watches I hate from companies I like, because I know I already made an episode like that, but there are so many to choose from that maybe I can do the flip side of this episode again. Yeah? That'll be fun. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for checking out my personal website, www.thetimetellershop.com. Thank you to my channel members. Join the T3 Army by clicking the join button next to that subscribe button. $4.99 a month gets you extra content and gets you access to that members-only Discord chat. Thank you for checking out all the affiliate links in the description below. Excuse me. Man, this episode did a number on my brain. It's kind of the one-stop shop for the watch collector. We got watch winders, watch toolkits, watch straps. Just click those affiliate links and you really do directly help the channel. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I hope this kind of taught you just not to take things so seriously. We can have some fun, and rules are meant to be broken. Just because I say I hate these watchmakers, sometimes they can get it right. And by no means were any of these watches like spot on, but yeah, okay. Richard Mille, that samurai watch, I dig it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Jory Goodman, The Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.